On today's show, you'll meet an innovative community-based program that provides high school students with all types of disabilities the opportunity to explore post-secondary education and technology-related careers. High School High Tech, up next on Bayside. Good morning and welcome to Bayside. I'm your host, Shelly Sanders. We are talking all about high school students and a cool new program from Service Source called High School High Tech. And what better person to talk to than the director of this program, Miss Miranda Ray. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you so much for having me this morning.
Yes. Now, we've had you on in the past talking about other programs that Service Source provides, but this time you've got a whole new baby, and it's exciting.
Very exciting. It's called High School High Tech, and we are in two high schools here in Pinellas and Pasco County.
Perfect.
And we are really excited to be working with our students.
For sure. Now, before we get into all the nitty-gritty of it, so to speak, let's back up. Maybe we've got viewers that haven't heard of Service Source before. Maybe they're new to the area, or maybe they've heard of it and aren't real sure what it's about. So can you give me a brief explanation of what Service Source does here in the Tampa Bay area?
Sure.
What it's all about?
Service Source works with individuals with disabilities to help them get back into the employment world. We also have work incentive planning and assistance. So if we have people that are receiving Social Security benefits, we do benefit counseling and help them understand what will happen if they get a job and how that will impact their Social Security benefits and Medicare, Medicaid. We also have vocational evaluation in case someone's not too sure what their strengths, capabilities, talents are. And we have job placement. We also have an interpreters program, which I think we're on your program before, a Warrior Bridge program for our veterans, and our youth transition programs, which is what High School High Tech is.
Sure. So many programs. Service Source has been we've been a long time friend of Service Source as well. Have you guys on frequently. Love all the programs and all the things really giving abilities to those with disabilities. I love that mentality and that thought. And it bleeds over again, like you said, into the youth services programs, which is your specialty, and more specifically, High School High Tech. Tell me about it. How does it work, and who are you targeting? Just give me the lowdown, Miranda.
Okay. Well, High School High Tech is funded from the ABLE Trust, which is a Florida endowment for vocational rehabilitation. So vocational rehabilitation is the state of Florida program that helps people with disabilities get jobs. So the ABLE Trust has been funding this program since 1990 throughout the whole state of Florida in 39 counties, 43 different settings, and it's to help students with disabilities transition from high school to work.
Sure.
So High School High Tech is specifically looking at career exploration and post-secondary options. And back in 37 years ago, there was a lot of what they called STEM careers, science, technology, engineering, math.
Sure. Still around.
Still around. Now it's STEAM, has the arts in there.
Right.
And it actually started in Brevard County at NASA.
Oh, wow.
They wanted to introduce students to some of the jobs that were available over there. And it has expanded, like I said, through 39 counties. And Service Source is fortunate to have two counties, Pasco and Pinellas, and we work in the schools and provide this program.
Fantastic. So that covers on how you're funded and who you're working with. Talk to me about these students. So when you talk about the high school and you're preparing them to enter the workforce or even enter into post-secondary education, who are we talking to? Just students with disabilities, and what range?
Sure. Well, we're talking about students that are in an IEP, an Individualized Education Plan, or 504, which means that there's a disability. And we're looking at from 14 to 21. So I look at freshmen all the way up to senior. because that's really where you're going to make your most decisions when you're in high school.
Sure.
You want to reach the kids before they leave high school, when you can provide a lot of opportunities. So typically, we have between 15 and 30 students every year between the two sites that come in between 14 and probably 19 years of age.
Right.
And so we do a lot of career exploration, and we go out and we do an awful lot of field trips. Maybe sometime we can come here to and
Wonderful.
do a tour here. And
That would be
because
fun.
we've had several students who always wanted to learn a little bit more about working in television.
Sure.
But yeah, so we look at that, and I run it like a job club. I started out at vocational rehabilitation, and teachers are in the school, and that is their expertise. My expertise is really helping people with disabilities understand their talents.
Sure.
And realize their strengths and build confidence. So I go in there and run it more like a job, and which makes it kind of funny because I have my own kind of the rules of the road for high school high tech. Because if we were to come here and do a tour, I would like for them to make such a great impression on you guys that if you had an internship open up or something,
Right.
you would say, oh, this person would be great.
Sure.
And I remember you. We want it to be positive. We don't want to be, oh.
Sure. But I find that that's beautiful, and I'm glad to hear you say that, because it's one thing to just have a rote routine on how something, a program is operated, but it means altogether something different when it's clear, Miranda, that you have passion about what you're doing, and so when you say you run it like a job, you actually care, you want to find that hidden gem. Let's face it, high school is scary enough in and of itself on the thought from a student's perspective, even without an IEP. When you're talking about, holy cow, this is the rest of my life, I've got to make a decision, I don't know what do I want to do, it can be overwhelming. So I can't imagine the combination of just that pressure alone. Now added to that, you're labeled with a disability. How do you even know, I find that a beautiful thing that you're able to go in there and really hone in on what those assets are, because everyone has something that they're good at, no matter what parameters you're limited by or are given to you as well. So I commend you on that aspect. So how many students are actually in this program?
Well, every year, the ABLE Trust, through all the different high school high-tech programs, serves about 1,300.
Oh, wow.
And we're pretty much have a contract to serve minimum of 15, but we always try to serve more. We also have gotten some grants from the Maximus Foundation, which has helped us do more internships over the summer, which is one of the big things that we look at, as well as the Abilities and Service Source Foundation.
Sure. Now, do you have any favorite stories?
Oh, I do.
Is that just too hard to tell? There's so
I
many.
do. Well, every year you walk in and you have
Sure.
a group of new students.
So
And-
I want to hear all these stories, right?
Yeah.
This is the most challenging part, would be to pick with those.
Yeah.
And so I know I just asked you that question, but we do have to take a short break, of course. So I will come back. When we come back after the messages, after the commercial break, we're going to get involved with that. I know you at home probably have questions maybe on how you can get involved, or hey, I want this in my school, or maybe you have a student getting ready to be in high school in one of these areas, and well, all that information is going to be right there on that website at servicesource.org. Just go up to the little search bar and click in high school high tech. And I imagine if you put into the great wise Google high school high tech, Tampa Bay area, it'll come up for you there as well. As a matter of fact, why don't you go check it out while we get a break. Welcome back to Bayside. I'm your host, Shelley Sanders. I've been speaking with Miss Miranda Ray all about High School High Tech, this amazing program for our high school students here in the Bay Area, provided by Service Source, funded by the ABLE Trust. I mean, just big things, amazing things, and thank goodness for your sponsors, huh?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
So, all right, we rudely interrupted you to head to break. I had just asked you, do you have a favorite, which would almost be, in my opinion, like how do you pick your favorite kid? But are there any success stories with these students that come to mind, something notable?
Well, they're all success stories, and that's how I walk into the classroom every fall. What are we going to do this year? and how are we going to, as you said, capitalize or bring out those strengths and talents? Because 14 freshmen, they don't know.
Sure.
Seniors don't know.
That must be an exciting,
It is.
invigorating feeling for you to walk into a room and seeing these little doe eyes staring at you like, oh my gosh, the world is in front of me. What does that even mean? And then to watch them blossom and
Exactly.
discover it, to be witness to that, it must be an incredible feeling.
So one of the things that we do every year is we have summer paid internships.
Sure.
And so the whole year I'm preparing them by learning how to be a good employee, by learning how to speak to an employer, learning good job skills, and that's why I run it like a job club, you know. And so I bring in guest speakers, and we do tours of all different places. So I find out what everybody's interested in. I take a lot of notes, and we might have someone who's interested in sportscasting. I had a sports photographer that's interested in that. Someone wanted to start their own business. So many different areas. And so the whole year I focus on the interests of those students. And we look at, you know, what do you need to do to be a sportscaster? What do you need to do to become a welder? What do you need to do to become a landscaper and have your own business? And in the summer, we provide the paid summer internships. Right. And as far as success stories goes, we've had so many success stories. I think just watching each and every one of those students grow throughout the year or years, they come back.
Yeah.
So, you know, I've had them for 3-4 years.
Oh, wow.
And it's just been the most unbelievable, inspiring experience. So I put a lot of them in an entry-level kind of position through some of our community partners. And they go in and they're not quite sure what they're going to do. I'll go in the next week and I'll see a different person. I'm like, well, where are they? Their posture's different. The way that they're wearing their watch and the way that they, you know, the eye contact and the way that they're moving around, you know, the work environment is just like, oh, look at that.
Really gives them an advantage.
A real advantage. And, you know, then we look at the job and we break it down so that when it comes to the next internship, if they want to do one, but many of my students go out and get their own job after the internship. So a lot of times I have to either figure out if they want to do something specific, like go into nursing.
Sure.
You know, I'll do an internship, something like that, but I have to figure out how to work around that other job, which is a really good life skill too.
Right.
Which is another thing. We prepare them to help be able to be independent in the community, on a job, going to college.
But that speaks volumes for the program and the fact that it is working, because who knows if they would have been able to get a job before then, or even whether they would have had the desire or the confidence enough to even attempt getting a job.
Good point. I think that sometimes with students with disabilities, not all the career options may be shown. They may not know what is available to them.
Sure.
So I just kind of find out where they're interested and just bring it all in. I'll bring in speakers, you know, that may be just on the fringe of that subject, but it may be something that they find they're really interested in.
Sure.
We had a person who came in for one of our career days who is a graphic artist. I've never seen, you know, anybody interested in that? No, but this guy comes in and he's got all this interest.
Right. Sometimes the words don't equate to just how cool a job is, or maybe it doesn't resonate until someone visually sees exactly what that is, right?
It's exactly true.
So I know you guys do a lot of site visits, and then you have something, there's references to Florida's high-tech corridor.
Yeah.
Can you explain that? What is it?
Sure. Well, 37 years ago, when high school high-tech first became a program, there was a lot of these high-demand STEM careers. And a lot of them were over in Brevard County at NASA. And that's actually where the first high school high-tech program was in Brevard County. But now everything has to do with technology. You're a teacher, I mean, especially these days.
Sure.
You gotta use Teams and Zooms and have the camera and equipment. Everybody uses technology, so it's more about the new emerging careers. Right. You know, where is there high demand? I had 4 students that graduated last year who are now looking at nursing EMT careers.
Wow.
Because nursing is such a high need. CNAs are a high need.
Sure.
So we're also, you know, Clearwater, Newport Richey, big in the boats.
Right.
I had no idea there was such a big market for underwater welding.
Yeah.
I put 2 kids through scuba diving training school this last summer because they wanted to be underwater welders.
How cool.
And that's a pretty nice job.
For sure it is. I mean,
Yeah.
even just welding in and of itself is an art
Yes.
that from what I understand in the construction industry altogether is
Is an
starting to
awful-
go away.
Awesome
So,
career. So
could be
that's where it
amazing.
started, and that's what we're looking at. I brought in a person that runs a underwater welding school in Pasco County to one of our career days because we had people that were interested in that. And
Fantastic. So many opportunities here for our high school students. You are looking at the website right there, servicesource.org. That's going to give you all the information about the wonderful things that Service Source does here in the Bay Area and then some. But you're going to go to the search bar and put in there high school, high tech. And that will lead you to all the information that Miranda and I have been talking about today for your high school students. Maybe you've got an idea, maybe you want to help out, maybe you would like to help fund, all kinds of maybes. I'm sure you have questions. That's the website you're going to check out, servicesource.org. Go check it out while we go to break. Welcome back to Bayside. We're still talking about high school high tech. It's the coolest program, and it's brought to you by Service Source. If you don't know Service Source, you need to know Service Source because they do amazing things here in the Bay Area. And right now, we're focused on the high schoolers. This is the future, really and truly. These are our future adults and not too far away from that either. So Miranda Ray, you are the director of this program. I know you can't have this program without community partners, right? And you already have quite a few and some that are just amazing, I am sure. But tell me what it means to be a community partner. I would imagine you still need more.
absolutely.
What does it mean to be a community partner? What obligations do they have? Just tell me about it.
Well, a community partner can be anything from coming in and doing a guest speaking appearance to one of our schools or to both and talking about what they do, talking about what it means to build a website, be graphic artist, talking about what it is to be a prep cook. Right. You know, those interests that I told you about that I get from the students, I look for people in the community that are experts in that to tell about where the jobs are.
Sure. Which
and what the training
could be
is.
huge.
Yeah.
That is. So for you at home, I mean, if I'm understanding this correctly, for you at home, it doesn't matter what you do. If you're willing to come in, even if you're a business owner, I think that would even be even better, like to be able to bring students to you.
That would be so wonderful. Yeah, we are so lucky to be able to do tours. Right now we're doing virtual tours.
Right.
Publix, another one of our community partners, did a virtual tour for all our students yesterday, which was wonderful. They made it so much fun and talked about, all the different careers and how you can start and the whole Publix story. And Longhorn Steakhouse in both Pasco and Pinellas counties, every year they always bring them in, come on in, we'll give you another tour, we'll talk about different things. They're just great because they're always looking to the youth, this is our future, helping the students and helping.
Sometimes they don't know.
Yeah.
Until they see it.
And they have fun. They love the students coming in, and we're always looking for community partners. Let's see, what else have we done? We have gone to.
So with the community partners, though, does it stretch beyond just, hey, I'm here to tell you about my job?
Yes.
Is there other requirements involved with that?
Well, we love to have tours.
Sure.
Tours of different industries. We're part of the Manufacturing Association, so we've been able to go in and look at different types of manufacturers. Nielsen has always done great tours for us. Different types of careers, different types of,
And it runs the gamut because really and truly you're talking to high schoolers who, I don't know about you, but when I was in high school, I wasn't completely 100% sure of what I wanted to do, and it was the big question that lingered from the time I was a freshman until I graduated. What are you going to do? Are you kidding? I didn't know I had to pick right at this moment in my life. For you at home, if you'd like more information, you're looking at the website right there, servicesource.org. by all means, you can always volunteer for these guys. They've got amazing programs, even more than just the high school high tech, but today's show is all about our high schoolers. So when you go to that website, click in the search bar, high school high tech, or do a fantastic Google search, and you can find it that way as well. As a matter of fact, why don't you check it out while we go to break? As always, I want to thank you at home for joining us this week on Bayside. And of course, Miranda, thank you so much for coming and enlightening us all about high school high tech, presented by or put on. It's a program by Service Source. Now, I tell you every week to get out, get involved in your community, and I can't think of a better way to do so than to support our future leaders, and that would be our high school students. High school high tech, that's the subject. Go Google it, figure out how you can help. We'll see you next weekend.